Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. And today we got an interesting range of some cruise stories for you today. But first I want to start with an update from Princess Cruise Lines regarding the Regal Princess. So the Regal Princess had to cancel some cruises. Canceled the October 27th sailing, canceled the November 3rd sailing for the Regal Princess due to technical issues, propulsion issues. She is currently down in Galveston. Repair work is being done, and according to Princess, they expect the repairs to be done on time, and the ship will sail the November the 10th sailing. Now, for those passengers that were canceled, they got a full refund of their cruise fare, plus a 25% future cruise credit, which a lot of folks said was not enough. Due to it being a last-minute cancellation, they wanted more of a future cruise credit, and a gesture of goodwill, Princess Cruise Lines has heard everybody, and they are raising the future cruise credit from 25% to 50%. So for those two sailings, a full cruise refund and now a 50% future cruise credit. Now, of course, that's not going to make everybody happy. It never will, and it never does. People had to cancel hotels, they had to cancel rental cars, they had to cancel flights, all at the last minute. There were penalties for some people. It's a good reason to make sure you have cancel for any reason travel insurance that covers all of those items. But I do find some of the comments kind of funny where they say, as an elite member of Princess, I will need to decide if I want to use them or find a better cruise line. Because yeah, let's be crystal clear here. Princess Cruise Lines, they just arbitrarily said, our ship's going to break. We hope it's going to break. So we want to cancel some cruises over technical mechanical issues, because mechanical things, they never break. It's not like cars break down. It's not like airplanes break down, trains, whatever the case may be, amusement park rides. So I'm not 100% sure what a better cruise line would be, because they all have mechanical problems. They can all have a technical issue, and it's not just a Princess problem. But what do you think? Did Princess make it right by increasing the future cruise credit to 50%? Next, if you are down in Galveston or sailing out of Galveston anytime soon, you may notice a smaller luxury expedition cruise ship there across the bay, currently in dry dock. Well, that ship happens to be Scenic Cruises' Scenic Eclipse. She also was having a propulsion problem, caused a reduction in speed, and has resulted in a dry docking where they are going to be replacing an entire azipod. Now, this is a smaller vessel, only holds 228 passengers, so definitely not a jumbo large cruise ship that you would normally see sailing out of Galveston or even being in Galveston. But because she is a smaller ship, this is a repair they can take care of in Galveston. Now, they still have to fly the azipod in, get it over to the ship, get it installed before the Scenic Eclipse begins resume sailing on the 27th of November. But if you happen to see the ship there in Galveston, wondering, hey, what ship is that? What is it doing there? That's the Scenic Eclipse getting an azipod replacement. Now, Carnival Cruise Lines, they are looking to hire some new security personnel, specifically 2 new security roles for their ships: an RSA supervisor, which is responsible service of alcohol, and a youth security officer. So 2 new security positions to see how much you're drinking, to watch if you're drinking too much, to determine whether or not you are intoxicated, and to make sure this alcohol is not getting into the hands of minors. So the main responsibility of the RSA supervisor is to prevent anyone from becoming intoxicated. Yeah, so one person's going to stop people from becoming intoxicated on a cruise ship. We'll see how that goes. Now, of course, that works in conjunction with the bartenders that are supposed to be able to determine whether you've had too much and stop your service. With other crew members who, if they believe you're overly intoxicated, creating issues, problems, or other things around the cruise ship, will report you to security. But they are there to prevent anyone from becoming intoxicated, to keep alcohol away from minors, and to ensure passengers are complying with Carnival's policies and procedures regarding the service and consumption of alcoholic drinks. Now, the youth security officer, they are there to enforce onboard security policies and regulations concerning young passengers. They are there to ensure that kids, teens and adult passengers get along with each other and don't have a negative effect on each other's vacations. They are to attend any complaints about minors, i.e., one we see a lot is apparently unsupervised minors running up and down hallways, banging on cabin doors. That could be something that the youth security officer would be investigating, looking into, or handling. Now, will these two new positions make any difference on a Carnival sailing? Will it mean less intoxicated people? Will it mean less unattended children kind of doing whatever they want? Because that does seem to be a current cruise trend where some parents get on board cruise ships and say, hey, we're all on vacation. We're going to go over here and do this. You kids, figure it out for yourself. Does seem to be a relatively common complaint on cruise ships these days. So will these two positions make any difference? We will find out as they fill these positions, they get on board ships, they start doing the jobs. We'll have to see, is there a noticeable change? Now, people get denied boarding for all different kinds of reasons, but this story is kind of like one of those world's dumbest criminals type of stories. Even though she's not necessarily a criminal, I still think it kind of falls under maybe dumb things that cruise passengers do. So we have a 53-year-old woman. She is attempting to board a German cruise ship, the Ada Mare from Ada Cruise Lines, but she is denied boarding. She is denied boarding due to severe intoxication. So apparently she tried to board this cruise ship drunk as a skunk. Now, this occurred last Thursday, middle of the afternoon. Of course, this is over in Europe. She was attempting to board a 3-day cruise. Like I said, drunk as a skunk, intoxicated, gets denied boarding by the crew members, and naturally, she immediately causes a fuss. She begins a heated confrontation with crew members, with staff members there in the port, enough that the police now have to get involved. So they called the cops on her. So the federal police in Rostock, they come over there. They start talking to her. They start examining her. They start running her information. And it turns out, dun, 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 not only is she intoxicated, not only did she start a problem with the crew members there at the dock, turns out she's wanted. So she booked a cruise, got intoxicated, went to the cruise port, denied boarding, caused an issue the whole time while she was wanted. And I'm not real sure exactly what outcome she thought she was going to get, but it probably wasn't the one she was hoping for. So she was escorted off of the premise. She was taken into custody. So yeah, if you're wanted for something, don't go to a cruise port and create all kinds of issues and problems that are going to get law enforcement involved, because it's probably not going to end the way you hoped. Next, we have some potential bad weather coming up through the Caribbean, heading into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, this is currently called potential tropical cyclone number 18. And on its current track, you can see here on the map, is heading west and is currently predicted to impact somewhere in the vicinity of Galveston, somewhere between New Orleans, Galveston, there along the Texas-Louisiana coastline. Now, I want to make sure we understand this is the word predicted, because storms can change paths. It's always possible that it can make a turn and go in some other kind of direction, but at least this is its predicted current path. But one thing, good thing, it's not headed for Florida. They've had enough this year. Florida does not need another mess smacking into their shoreline. Not that any other place needs it, but Florida, I think they've received their fair share so far for this year. Now, what this means right now is keep an eye out. Pay attention to the weather. Pay attention to any communication from your cruise line. No itinerary changes, no changes to embarkation, no changes to disembarkation at this time. But you can see from the path of the storm, cruises out of Galveston, cruises out of New Orleans, cruises out of Mobile, Alabama, definitely need to just keep your eye out. If nothing else, there is the potential for a bumpy ride out or a bumpy ride back in. Now, if this changes anything in cruising here over the next couple of days, we will share the itinerary changes. But right now, we're just in a watch and see mode. And for those with upcoming cruises, just keep it in the back of your mind that some changes may be possible. And finally, I want to end today with what I believe to be a truly amusing story. Experienced cruisers, you're familiar with the cruise duck phenomenon. People take them on board a ship, little ducks, they hide them, People find them, they collect them, they rehide them. It's a thing. People take these things on 20, 30 of these ducks to hide them all around the cruise ship. People have fun doing it. It has become a fan favorite activity, but not for everyone. There are people out there that just hate the cruise ducks. They love to write into cruise lines talking about how much they hate the cruise duck. And Carnival Cruise Lines brand ambassador John Heald, boy, he gets an earful about these cruise ducks sometimes. Now, John Heald posted a story over on his Facebook page this morning, and I'm pretty sure it's a real story. I'm pretty sure this is something Carnival is doing. But, there's always a possibility that if you read anything from John Heald on a regular basis, he could be poking some fun at some people out there. But he put this picture up here this morning talking about in a fun addition to the cruise ships coming soon to the continuation of the duck phenomenon. Meet Ducky the Duck, a new mascot coming to Carnival Cruise Lines. So if this is real, and I'm not saying it's not, but I always leave the possibility in there that this could just be a fun, humorous poke at some people out there. But if this is real, well, then this is Carnival Cruise Lines' answer to those that don't like cruise ducks, because it would be definitely funny if instead of banning the cruise ducks, like some of those people out there they pray in their soul that that's going to happen. Instead, Carnival Cruise Lines puts on a duck mascot. Of course, this means it's time for the haters to hate, because comments will start to appear on the internet talking about how much people hate the cruise ducks, how much they hate the possibility of this mascot even happening. And of course, you're going to have those extra special comments, just like he got as soon as he posted this picture. Now, he deleted the comment before everybody could get a look at it. He deleted it before we could get a screenshot, because apparently this comment was so bad that it had to be deleted by this woman named Amy, who apparently hates the idea of cruising ducks. That she was so upset and so mad that she attacked the crew. And John Heald, his response is still there, where he had to let her know, this duck is not going to chase you around the ship. It's not going to be in your cabin. It's not going to affect your cruise. So why do you need to threaten to remove all of your gratuities over this mascot? That if she doesn't want anything to do with the cruise ducks or Ducky the Duck mascot, she doesn't have to. It doesn't have to affect her cruise. You can just go about your business and enjoy your day. But welcome to the world of entitlement that we now live in with some people, where something as simple as cruise ducks, they don't like it. Now, they don't have to look for them. They don't have to find them. They don't have to collect them. They can just walk by and ignore them, but they can't do that. Instead, they have to complain. They have to threaten. They have to put down the crew members. Say, I'm going to remove all of my gratuities over this activity. And my question is, why? There are things on board cruise ships that are not going to be for everybody. I even have one. Now, this is super, super minor, and it's just my personal taste, but I don't care for sushi. It's just not my thing. But there's a bonsai sushi on board Carnival cruise ships. Should I write in complaints and be demanded that it is removed because I don't like it? Or should I just be an adult and go, well, since I don't like it, I'll just go eat somewhere else? Super easy, super simple, and something that some of these entitled pains in the ass really need to get through their head. Quit worrying about what other people do that does not affect your cruise. And if cruising is so bad and upsets you so much, find another way to vacation. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this new mascot? Do you think it's real? Do you think we're actually going to see this on cruise ships? Or do you think John Heald, being a little tongue-in-cheek with some humor, kind of poking the entitled folks out there who just don't like ducks? Or are you one of those people that says, hey, bring back Fun Ship Freddy? And that's going to be our video for today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.